Up next, we visit the Smithsonian American Art Museum, where an exhibit features paintings and photographs created during the Civil War. Curator Eleanor Jones Harvey describes how art was influenced by the conflict and how the 19th century public saw symbolic significance for the war in landscape paintings and genre paintings, or scenes of everyday life.
One of the key themes, of course, for any exhibition on the Civil War are the twin issues of abolition and emancipation. And we are fortunate that both Winslow Homer and Eastman Johnson came of age when they did, because between the two of them, they make issues around emancipation and abolition, issues around human rights and American freedom on a general, non-race specific level. Eastman Johnson paints this picture called Negro Life in the South in the spring of 1859 before the war starts. He's had a falling out with his dad, who is a Northern Democrat from Maine. He is on his second marriage to a member of George Washington's family. It's bringing slaves into the household. Johnson is clearly not happy about this. That story gets contained in the book. This was interpreted differently depending on which newspaper you were writing for. Does that sound familiar? You had the New York Herald, which was the sort of Northern Democratic, keep the Union together at all costs, slavery can't possibly be that bad, run by James Gordon Bennett. You had the Tribune on the other side going, whatever it takes to get rid of slavery, bring the war on, run by Horace Greeley. And the New York Times gets founded in 1851 to tread the middle ground, which is why they call themselves all the news that's fit to print, implying that the rest of it is just partisan rubbish. But the reviews are different too. And the Northern Democratic reviewers look at this picture and say, they're happy, they're healthy, they're listening to music, it can't possibly be that bad. The Northern Republican reviewers look at it and go, we are one stiff wind away from this just collapsing in on everybody. It is a metaphor for the state of slavery in the nation. We have to get rid of it. It's more complicated even than that. You have Lincoln's House Divided speech. You've got the big house next to the slave quarters. A house divided against itself cannot stand. But what's more important is, look at the variety of skin tones from left to right across here. What Eastman Johnson is doing on the eve of war is in essence saying, at what point does the color of your skin determine if you are a person or property, and why should that even matter? They are all human beings. Now, there's a long involved story incorporated in the book on the chapter on abolition, in which I will go through every iconographic piece of information that Johnson puts in this picture, but I'll summarize by saying, if you pay attention to the top half as well as the bottom half, what you will get is a white cat slinking in a bedroom window, and out the other window is a dark-skinned black woman holding a light-skinned child. There is a ladder going from that bedroom window up to the bedroom wing of the big house, and a bolt of fabric coming out the other bedroom window as though there is a way in and out without being seen. There's a rooster up here. And as one 19th century reviewer said, roosters have a habit in the evenings of finding a perch and calling to the hen to spend the night with them. Well, the hen is on top of the slave quarters. If you start adding up all of the little ins and outs, and then look down here at the white girl entering the backyard with the black woman checking to make sure the coast is clear, some reviewers said she's coming to hear the music. She's the mistress, or she's the master's daughter or something. She's not here to hear the music. Nobody is paying attention to her. Nobody's like, whoops, look who's here. Is she a product of one of those liaisons that were written about so often between a slaveholder and one of his slaves? At the time that Eastman Johnson debuts this picture, there is a play on Broadway in New York about a young woman who is in fact passing for white, living in her father's house. When he dies, she is discovered to be part black and is sold with the rest of the property and kills herself rather than deal with that fate. This was common currency at the time, and the papers skirt around it, but the reviewer who referred to the chicken as the lord and master calling to his hen to roost with him for the night came as close to calling it out in plain sight as anyone. The pictures have a lot of coded layers.
You can watch this or other American Artifacts programs anytime by visiting our website, cspan.org/history. And watch American Artifacts every Sunday at 8 a.m., 7 p.m., and 10 p.m. Eastern, here on C-SPAN 3.